Hey guys, welcome back to Tamiya Legends, and as always, thank you for clicking on this video. So, it's a build day, and it's rather a good one because I've never built an F1 chassis, let alone a Tamiya chassis. So, super excited. It's a Tamiya F104 Pro 2. Comes with everything you need, apart from obviously electrics. And in this video, we'll get it built. But before we get into that, I just need to give a massive shout to today's video sponsor, which is the one and only Otley Model Sport in the UK. I honestly can't thank you enough for sponsoring this build. It's absolutely fantastic. You guys and girls in the UK will know who Otley Model Sport is, without a doubt. But yeah, it was the first ever shop that I went to, and it blew me away. I'll put links to their Instagram page, Facebook page, and obviously their awesome website. If you've not checked them out, please do. They're awesome. So let's get into this build. I'm looking forward to this one. Right then, that's all the bits out, and as you can imagine, this is not going to take too long. Not a great deal of stuff to do. Bag here's got quite a lot of Tamiya blue bling. We like that. Anyway, yeah, let's crack the manual open and get started. So, step one, very basic. So I'm guessing I put this second piece on, as you can see, the join. So I'm guessing, well, obviously this is very soft, so that's for your rear suspension, I guess, but I don't know. Right, moving on to stage two. And that's stage two complete. So, what was it, 8 bolts to make this unit, and then another 4 bolts to fasten it to the chassis. Right, next step, stage 3. Right, that's step 3, which is the rear axle. Very cool. So let's see if I can show you this, not really. So, where that bearing is, there's a little like oval plastic bit that fits in that holds a bearing. You get three different pairs of those, and that gives you different ground clearance. So I've just gone with instructions, which is the middle one, number 2. But yeah, definitely something that can be adjusted. Right, moving on to stage 4, which is the ball diff. I thought just before I put the back diff together, I'll just show you the pieces, because it's awesome. I know it's not a TRF car, it's not a TRF F1, I know that, but it comes with some really class bits. Yeah, very cool. Anyway, let's get the Tamiya diff grease and get that fitted. Right, so that is stage 5 and stage 6 complete. And this is very basic, as you can imagine, but it's an absolute pleasure to put together. It really is. So, yeah, that's everything. Really cool. Kit comes with a pinion, and it comes with 2 spare gears as well. I've just gone for the 104 tooth. I think it's 48 pitch as well. I'm just going with standard 540 motor. Obviously, I'm building this in winter, but 100% want to run it. And to be honest, a 540 on 2S on a F1 car will be plenty quick enough. So yeah, as you can imagine, smooth as you like. And the diff, yeah, lovely. Really nice. So much, look at this little nice blue motor plate as well. Very, very cool. Really enjoying this. Right, so I'm just looking at the manual. Stage 7, we're moving on to the front end. Right, that's stage 7, which is that bolted down to the front end. Quite a few little bits in there. 2 big screws to hold it together. So that's, as I say, stage 7. Stage 8, you've got to butcher the steering servo. It kind of clamps in at the sides, so you got to cut the mounts off. I think a lot of Formula 1 cars chassis are like this, certainly Tamiya ones. So I've dug out this old servo. I should test it actually before I fit it, but if it doesn't work anyway, it'll do the job for now for keeping the wheels straight. But yeah, so I'll cut those off, and we've got to build what's next. Sorry, I'm just looking at the instructions. So as well as doing this, we've got to build the steering servo saver. Right, so after quite a bit of messing around, that's stage 10 and 11 complete, which is basically, as I said earlier, the servo. So servo saver's made, turnbuckles are made. These are turnbuckles you get in the kit, and I've not added these as bling. Cut the side end tabs off, and then you've got these two plastic brackets, which you've got. That's a little bit of mess around. You just got to make sure they're flush, but obviously it's got double-sided sticky tape in it, so it's wanting to grab, and it's not quite in the right position, but we just get that. But you get the idea of how that works. It does give you two options in the manual, so obviously that's a standard size servo which sits upright in the car like that, but they give you brackets to do a low profile steering servo in there as well. I'm just looking at instructions and I'm telling you this because it looks like you've still got to cut the tabs off, but because if you got a low profile, that sits upright like that. Yeah, I'm not too sure if you use a low profile if you've got to cut the tabs. There's nothing obvious staring at me. When installing a low profile servo, yeah, it doesn't tell you. Anyway, jumping now on to stage 12, which is to mount that and some other pieces on the chassis. Right, that's steps 12 and 13. So in 12, we've obviously put the servo in, but that's only held in with 2 bolts at the moment. And we've also put some foam on both these plates for the battery. These both swivel, battery slides in, and then they both lock with your battery going that way. And then stage 13 was the top deck, and it was just to put those bits of hardware on there. And now looking at step 14 is to mount the actual top deck. Right, and that's us up to stage 15. So as you can see, top deck all on. That's the 2 big bolts through the servo mounts, if that makes sense. So that's really solid now. 2 bolts in there holding the battery trays in. Your electrics go on here, in case you didn't know, on an F1 car, or on a Tamiya F1 car I should say. Yeah, very cool, very light as well. Now 15, so back onto the front end. Right, latest progress. So yeah, that's the front end finished. It's such a cool build, I've got to be honest. There's way more to it than I expected. So steering's connected, as you can see. Now I'll show you this front suspension first, but I think there might be an error, possibly on my part. So if you can see, this is spring. There's a spring loaded, so that's how your front suspension works. Obviously, hardly any movement, but you wouldn't expect that, would you? Kind of cool. Now, when these arms, oops, sorry, getting camera. These arms snap on here. There's 2 ball ends, snaps on, no problem. And then you just put these screws in to stop them popping off. Now, you see that one, that's perfect. But the fronts, they're sticking out way too much. Now, that ball end it's attached to, there's a screw underneath there. So I was wondering, have I used a longer screw? So obviously this is not going down. But I'm like 99% certain I've used the correct screw. So maybe that's just how it is, but doesn't look great, does it? That can't be right. Anyway, it's not the easiest to fix this because I've got to take that back off. But I think for now we'll plod on because we are going to be doing a lot more with this car. But yeah, this is very, very cool. So we're now on stage, let me just have a look. Have I jumped? Looks like it's a rear suspension. Yes. So it would be stage 17, which is electrics, but we're not going to be fitting speedo or receiver in just yet. As I said, it's winter. So yeah, it's to make the rear suspension assembly up, which looks pretty darn cool actually. Right, let's crack on. Right, that's the rear suspension made up. Really, this kit really does come with the best of bits. I kind of knew that beforehand, but anyway, TRF shock. Smooth as you like. Now, this is the damper unit if you've not seen one. very clever. So obviously you've got your shock, but to dampen it a little bit more, these two plates, and it's got silicone grease underneath, and the idea is the grease slows it down so it moves across the carbon like that. And then obviously you got this top wheel to adjust. Anyway, let's get that on the car. So I just wanted to jump back on before I snap the shock back on. So that's that carbon plate, just to show you what I mean, what it does. That's the movement. That is really smooth with that grease. I'm quite surprised. And you can adjust the tension with this little wheel here. Really cool. Right, let's just snap that shock on quickly. Right, that's the shock on. Very cool. I guess, well, I don't know about setup on these. But if you wanted more adjustment, you've got it on the shock collar as well. But God, that little bit of movement is massive, really, for an F1 car. As is the front. That is very, very cool, and quite a trick-looking thing, actually. So I'm just looking at put that in a position. I'm just looking at instructions now, and it's just telling you to put the tyres on the wheels and the wheels on the car and to glue them. But that's more for the body set, sort of second video. But for the main instructions, that's kind of it. And then you get a second set of little instructions for the body shell. But interesting, obviously, with being an F1 car, it's got to have the big front wing and the rear wing on it. Now that's in with the body set bit. But I'm going to cheat a little bit, because I'm definitely not doing the body set in this video. But I do want to get the car kind of finished. So I'm going to get the front and rear wings out, dig out those other instructions, because I want to get them fitted to the car, and then we'll get the wheels and tyres on it. And then that'll be the end of it in this video. But I want it looking like a proper F1 chassis before the end of this video, if that makes sense. So I'll go dig those bits out. Right, so I've dug all those bits out. So I've put this bit onto the front. Very soft plastic, that, for crash protection, no doubt. Now, there are other fins and stuff that go on here, but I'm not going to bother putting those on. That's a bit of a waste at this time, but obviously I wanted the front end on. I've built the wing up. That's quite a fiddly job, actually, with the really small screws. As you can see, it's got two wing positions, so I've just got it on the very top, and then that just fits on with two bolts. And then the tyres, they've got an interesting fit on the wheel. There's a large plastic rim on the wheel that feeds over. It's a lot more pronounced than like a buggy wheel. So yeah, what I've done is there's a Tamiya printed on one side, as you can see. No doubt that should be for the outside, but I've got tyre decals to go on this, so I've reversed the tyres. I don't think that's going to make a difference when you're running it, but I very much doubt it. But it has got a mould mark there, which I'm just going to need to pick off on all four. But I've got the P0 decals, so I'm going to go dig those out before I put these bits on, because yeah, I'm just excited about putting those tyre decals on for some bizarre reason. I just think it's going to look cool as hell, but I need to go find them. So that, my friends, is why I got really excited about putting the tyre decals on. I ordered these ages ago once I knew I was doing this project. Now, the crazy thing is, I've just spent a ton of time cutting these out and fitting them, and I'm only going to rip them off when I do the body, because I do have to get rid of that mould mark, just where my finger is. And I was going to say probably, but I'll possibly be painting the wheels as well, so the tyres have to come off. So I think you get, what do you get? There's 4, 8, I don't know. I've certainly got another 6 for when I finish this. But, oh my word, that just looks class. Better than I expected, actually. Got to have them on an F1 car, haven't you? Right. Now I wasted a lot of time doing that. Let's bang front and back wings on the chassis. Well, that looks pretty class to me, gotta be honest. But oh my goodness, how big is it? This adds so much length to it, it is unreal. Obviously the rear wing's pretty tidy, doesn't add much, but oh my goodness, yeah. Obviously when the shell's on, you got the big long F1 body going onto it. and the extra fins that have got to go on it. It's going to look class. Tyre decals, absolutely made up with them. They look great. I don't want to put any decals on the chassis yet, but I definitely will be. I think some nice white ones along here will bring the chassis alive a little bit. Rear suspension, just sort of doing what it does. And then the front. Yeah, that is awesome actually. Oh, that was the first time I got to sort of feel the diffs as well. That's pretty good. An interesting thing is as well, obviously it's got the motor in, but it's so free running. That's gonna go. That is. I'm really looking forward to. Let me just straighten them up because my OCD plays havoc with me if that's not straight. Yeah, I am seriously looking forward to running this, but yeah, it is going to be a while, unfortunately, due to the weather. But yeah, I mean, next stage is the body. But yeah, let's talk about the body. Well, my friends, I can't tell you how much I enjoyed that build. That was awesome. That really was awesome. I, for some reason, wrongly assumed that it'd be like an hour and 20 minutes and it'd be done. And it'd be, you know, a few bolts here and a few bolts there. And it's really not. It's a little bit more involved than I expected. I think it's taken me about 2.5 hours to build. But I love it. Absolutely love it. It's awesome. And to see it sort of in its sort of as the chassis should be now, just so cool. What a thing. Never showed you the steering. It's got quite a lot. Yeah. So before I end this video, I said I was going to talk about the body. And I still don't know what I'm going to do. So when I knew I was getting this kit from Model Sport, I straight away like, well, I'm going to do an old back in the day livery. I don't know, Ferrari, Mercedes, even a modern day one, you know. That's what I was gonna do. Anyway, then, like buses, a second F1 car's, it's actually not here yet, but it might be arrived today actually, which is gonna be a Ferrari. So I thought, right, just do this one box art because it doesn't look bad. So I bought the PS48 paint. It's like an aluminium paint. It's double the price of standard PS paint. I thought I'd just go full box art. And then as the days were getting closer and I was getting closer to building it, I was like, I don't know if I want it that aluminium. I prefer white because the decals will still work because the blue decals on this are awesome, and against a white F1 body, it'll look awesome. So I was that's where I got to it. That's where I got with it. And then I started thinking, I ain't going to show you the Tamiya flame decals. You know, it's a Tamiya 2 stars, the blue and the red, and then it's like a shooting star. I've done that on a few of my cars. I love those decals, and I need to check, but I think I've got some of those left over. Then I was thinking because my TCO1 is done in those, if you remember that build. So I thought a white F1 car with those and a few Tamiya Legends decals on there look pretty special if I can kind of pull it off with the shape of it and what have you. So up until last night, that's where I was with it. But now, after seeing it with the black wheels, I don't know where I'm gonna go. So because I haven't even tidied up. I was just gonna start the next video, which is obviously the body shell video, straight away. But I need to know what I'm doing with it because it's very involved. It's not just the shell and picking the colour. If I might want to paint the front and the back wings or parts of the wings, painting the wheels maybe. I don't know. I mean, I think I'm right in saying I think every F1 car today has black wheels. I think I'm correct in saying that. Maybe or not, I don't know. But the majority do seem black, and because of those amazing decals, you can leave them black. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I need to go away and think. But by all means, leave it in the comments what you would do at this stage. I'm intrigued. God, I just loved that build. Honestly, loved it. If you're looking for something completely different, and I don't normally do this on video, but if you are looking for a completely different type of build and something pretty cool to look at, and these kits are pretty readily available. It's 2018, but Tamiya are still making them. And I think you get a lot for your money, if I'm honest. Yeah, so cool. Anyway, I'm starting to dribble on. So a massive thank you, an even bigger thank you to Otley Model Sport for sponsoring today's video. Absolutely class. And again, all their details will be in this video's about section and in the pinned comments, all the links to the various social media and mainly the website. Yeah, I'll end this video there. So as always, my friends, thanks so much for watching. It is hugely appreciated. If you are new to this channel, please give this video a thumbs up, say hello in the comments, subscribe if you haven't. I'm just starting to nerd out with this. This is ace. This is really, really cool. Anyway, I'll end this video because it must be rubbish this bit. Happy arsing.